Hello and welcome to another mothership maintenance video. Today we're talking about bow thrusters. So the footage for this maintenance video was shot over 2 different servicings, so if you do spot some continuity errors, that's the reason why. Bow thrusters come in all shapes and sizes, and they're the device that moves the bows of the boats laterally through the water, particularly when you're coming into marinas or when you need to manoeuvre the boat in tight spaces. There used to be a time when bow thrusters were seen as an unnecessary luxury, really, particularly on the smaller modern boats. But heavy cruisers, like Amel Super Maramus in particular, with the heavy keels, they're pretty much essential, basically because of the distance between the rudder and the propeller. So on modern boats, the propeller is right in front of the rudder, and so when you do a short burst, it reacts straight away because that water flow hits the rudder and spins the boat around. And also because the keels are very thin and narrow, it gives it a tighter spot to turn on. Amels are slightly different to modern boats in the fact that the rudder is quite a way away from the propeller, and so short bursts don't really steer the boat that well, plus the fact that the keel is quite big and heavy, so it doesn't turn as well as on modern boats. The Amel Super Maramu bow thruster is quite unique in that it's retractable and it's also fully removable for servicing. The reason people don't like it is because there's obviously a lot more mechanisms to go wrong. The reason it's good is when it's fully retracted, there's less resistance in the water, and it also means that most of the shaft is outside the water. The other good thing about this system is you can actually take it off in the water because the lip seal is actually just above the waterline, so you can take the whole thing out, service it, and then put it back in the water. We don't actually use the bow thruster that much, mainly just to get in and out of marinas and tight spots, and when we come to service it, it's not actually being used that much. Just going to give it a good clean, put some SEA 90 gearbox oil in there, and then put it back. So the first task was to remove the shaft from the electric motor, and to do that you need to remove the 4 Allen keys, the 4 Allen bolts which hold the shaft in place. Now these are protected by a Jubilee clip which goes around them, and so firstly we have to remove that. Here's the hose clip, and now you're going to take out the 4 Allen key bolts there, which is holding the shaft on. Be really careful not to lose the washer. It doesn't usually drop straight out, but you never know. Just get the last one. There's a particular tricky one right at the back, just behind the cables, or just under the cables. But I've got it in there, I've just loosened it, but I'm just trying not to lose the washer when I bring it out. So there's always one washer that goes missing down the bilge. Okay, I need to get that Jubilee clip out as well, because when I lower the motor it's going to crush it unless I bring it back on. Actually, no, it's alright. Okay, I've loosened the bolts and the Jubilee clip, and it should come out nice and easy because I kind of greased it up last time. So, oh, look at that. Okay, perfect.
I'm not going to lose any bearings in there, is there?
Should be. Do I film close? Oh, that's clear actually. It's really clear. Even there, that's the emulsified oil. So the salt water's got in. So while Arenka was working on the keel, I got to work taking apart the bow thruster. So I removed the pin holding the hub in place. Then the 4 screws holding the cover plate for the bearing and the gears. Then encourage the whole thing out with a rubber mallet, removing the gears and the bearing. So this is just paint thinners to give the gears and the bearings a good clean to get rid of all of that emulsified oil. Then clean the whole thing. So this is the prop of the bow thruster. There's 2 types. There's the 8 screw prop and the 6 screw prop, which is 6 equal screws in that one, and the 8 screw has got 4 small ones and 4 bigger ones. I'm not sure which one came first, but we got both types. But it's only a matter of changing the hub on the actual shaft to change the different types of propeller. We've had 2 on board. We lost one actually in the Balearics about a year ago, and then I only had the 6 hole one to replace it with, but luckily I had the hub as well. So this is the spare one we had on board. It's not in the best condition, but all I need to do is give it a sand, and I'm going to give it a prime and then put some anti-foul on it. And it's made of fiberglass as well, so it means on the Amel system there's no water, there's no metal actually in the water. It's just carbon fiber and fiberglass, which is good because that means there's no galvanic reactions. So I'm just giving it a coat of Jolton's primer at the moment. So it's been over a year since I changed the lip seal, and even though it looks okay, we've had some water ingress and some oil leak out. So even though that lip seal looks fairly okay, I'm going to replace it anyway. So I'm just greasing up this lip seal now, putting loads of marine grease in around the spring and trying to get a watertight seal on it. So that should create a nice watertight seal in there now. So here's the service kit from Amel, containing the new propeller, the nylon hub, the screws and the lip seals, and the 3 foam rubber seals. Then it was a matter of reassembly. So these aren't precision machined. I think they've been done by hand, so they don't line up exactly, so you've got to make sure that that is rotated in exactly the right way. and then just sort of tap it round. Then sealing every conceivable gap to stop the seawater coming in and the oil getting out. It's an aluminium tube. It's really good for tapping lip seals in place. Then I give the housing a good clean. And replace the foam rubber seals on the shaft. So that's 2 outside of the boat and 1 inside the boat. So I gave the motor a bit of a clean and a grease as well, just on the underside where occasionally you get a little bit of seawater in, which causes a little bit of corrosion to the bottom of that motor. Before replacing the lip seal on the shaft too. So this is the old seal. We're going to replace that now. I've heard since that Amel have recommended putting washers overlapping the lip seal, so screw them onto the housing of the lip seal so that it holds the lip seal in place. So that'll be on my list of things to do on the next service. So then I secured the top foam rubber seals on top and I put them in place with some foam adhesive. So I just need to put these final seals on here. What these are like compression seals. What happens is when the bow thruster gets retracted, it squashes up against the inside and forms a watertight seal around here. So I just need to replace the oil, 300 millilitres, and then grease around there, and then we can put it all back in place. So today we've been trying to get the bow thruster back in place, but it's taken far longer than we expected, mainly trying to get the shaft lined up with the motor. Will it go up any further? So we've had to drop the motor slightly and engage it with the shaft on the way up. And Arinka's been outside, but we found out we can't actually communicate because as soon as we block that hole, there's no sound. Can you wiggle it from side to side? Can you wiggle it from side to side? Can you wiggle it from side to side? Keep pushing. So we've had to have Darry talking between us to communicate. Just slowly let go and see if it holds.
Slowly let go and see if it holds. Slowly let go and see if it holds. Slowly let go and see if it holds. Oh, go outside.
But we got there eventually. I've got the 4 Allen bolts in place now, and then I put the Jubilee clip in place. It's got a 14mm bolt on there to tighten it up, and having dropped the ratchet spanner down there a few times, I've had to tie it around my wrist with that. So once the anti-fouling was done, it was just a matter of replacing the prop. So these are the nylon screws, countersink flathead. These are the sacrificial screws that go into holding the bow thruster on. The idea being that if the bow thruster does get a wrap, these are sacrificial and they break off. And yes, okay, you do lose the propeller, but you save your mechanism. And the propellers, since they're only made of fiberglass anyway, are relatively cheap compared to the mechanism. And that was it, job done, and time to go back in the water. Thanks for watching, and thanks in particular to our patrons who make all of these possible. If you would like to become a patron for no more than $3 a month, then follow the links to the Patreon page in the description below.